Good morning, everybody. My name is Ivanitos, and I am going to do a little bit of a Warframe basics this morning, actually, rather than my normal, in a nutshell, videos. So what you're going to be seeing here is a really quick tutorial on how to make platinum in the game. I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, spend money. Give DE your money, and they will give you platinum. And that's kind of true. But there's also something else that will actually get you a bit of platinum itself, but you have to be willing to do two things. First is farm, and second is haggle. So, when you're normally looking at your Warframe and you hit T button, or whatever your chat button is, you'll have your clan if you have a clan, an alliance if you have an alliance, your next tab will be region, then the next tab will be recruiting, the last tab will be trading. So then for dealing with trading tab, we're going to go to trading tab. And in here you'll see this little bit of a little disclaimer up here. Trading is done within the dojo, at the trading post, or in Murrow's Bazaar. Good thing to know, right? You can invite non-members of your clan to do your dojo to trade. Not all trade items can be traded. So on and so forth. Now, something important to remember is the people, what you're going to see in here, it is not necessarily going to be a super... They're not going to be super... God, what's the word I'm looking for? Most of the things you're going to see here are going to be prices way outside of most people's budget and platinum ranges. You're not going to see a lot of people willing to buy. You will see willing to trade, which is WTT, or willing to sell, WTS. But you will often see WTB, which is willing to buy. And if you do, and this is one of the things that you should be doing, when you go here, you're going to scroll into this a lot. But you're going to be looking for those WTBs and see if you can find them. And this is how you should get started first. You want to look for something simple, whether it be a Chrome Prime sentence if you already have one, or whether it be a Veiled Rifle Ribbon, that's also a good one. You get 35 platinum for that. And so on and so forth. Most of what you should be doing here is looking at what people are currently willing to sell. Those are the things that are currently going for a price. So you just kind of look at what people are selling, and then decide, okay, so this is what I want to go farm for. Whether it be Rivens, whether it be for Code Prime stuff, whether it be for Graham Prime stuff, or Code Prime stuff, that's what I'm going to go do. And then you go into your relics. This will be your next best friend when it comes to doing platinum farming. Because almost everybody in the game wants, well, a lot of people in the game want to pay to win. There really is no pay to win system, besides a few. So, to a lot of people who aren't willing to spend, the $50, $100, $200 for the Prime bundles, they're willing to spend, 100, 300 platinum to earn the Warframe they want that's Prime, or the weapon they want that's Prime. So, for example, find a relic that has something that people are seeing to walk, whether it come Prime blueprints, or ancient blueprints like the Helios, or the Kavasa, all these things. And for the most part, you're going to be looking at getting the rare items, but you can also be looking at some uncommon and the common stuff. But once you have figured out what you're going to be aiming for, you can radiant, or you can improve, refine your relics, and then of course, find a matching endless mission if it's available. So you go to, I can just hit Void Fissures. So you go to Void Fissures and you look, what is the current thing for the first? Okay, so we have a Neo Defense, an Axie Survival, and an Axie Defense. Now, depending on how well you play, you might only do infestation missions or endless, because that's the one that you're comfortable playing. But then you'd run to Eris, and you'd do an infestation to defense, and you'd run that for as long as you possibly can. And you can do that in two ways. You can just go in there and with your thing here set to public, not solo or friends or invite only. That way you can get in public with you. Or you can go to the recruiting channel. In the recruiting channel, there will be people who are hosting certain farms, and there will also be people who are hosting certain missions. And you can put in there H, which means hosting, as you can see there, or you can just say hosting, or you can say looking for, or so on and so forth. And you usually can find people to get some, especially if you do relic farms, you can usually find people. Now, it all kind of depends on how you want to do the mission, but a lot of people will run with a energy unit like Trinity or Octavia. They'll run a buffer unit like Rhino or again Octavia, and they'll run a DPS frame like Saren or Gara or like that. So if you are looking to get platinum, this is how the system that you do. You go ahead and you farm up all kinds of prime parts, but you can see your prime parts, of course, two ways. First of all, you can go to here. You go to your equipment, go to your inventory, and then of course you can go ahead and find this prime part. And in prime parts, you have all these parts, you have all blueprints, and you can even search them based on, you know, certain particular words or phrases. See, I have a whole Banshee Prime set. This whole Banshee Prime set might be able to go for 150, maybe 200 platinum, because it is a set rather than an individual piece. So one of the things you have to remember is a single piece might be only worth, you know, 10 or 15 platinum, but a whole set can be worth a lot more than that because some pieces are worth more. If you're ever curious how much something is worth platinum, a good resource
Tenno, a new alert
is
has
ducats.
It will be marked on navigation.
So if you go ahead and you go to a relay. So let's go to Earth. Well, not Earth. Strata is annoying. But let's go to Landra. We go to Landra and wait for it to load, obviously. And a lot of people who saw my Barrow video will know exactly how this works. But if you parkour your way into the main hall, where Barrow Katir sometimes shows up every few days. Not necessarily in Landra, but some other places. Like, for example, he's going to Strata in 4 days, or roughly 5. The ducat kiosks and all of them are roughly in the same locations. But you can go here and you can see how much the ducats are worth of each part. Now that gives you a pretty good indicator of how much platinum it's worth. There are some that are worth quite a bit. I would never sell an Occidental Prime Receiver for 100, especially since you need 2 of them. You can, however, cut that in half to 50, and that might speak closer to what people are wanting. If you can't sell for 50, go down to 25. Always cut your products by exactly 50%, unless you're going to get an odd number like 7.5 platinum. Just keep it at 10. You should never sell anything for less than 10, unless it's like an Iotine sculpture, and then those can sell for 5. But for the most part, you can pretty much pinpoint your platinum prices you can ask for based on the ducat prices for all your prime stuff. And always remember, add together the whole ducat amount for a whole set. And this is 100, that's 200, 15, 45, so you go to 260, and then you can probably make about 200. So it's not going to be quite super accurate. Use discretion, and remember that people are only willing to spend like between 100 and 300 platinum for a whole set of parts. So remember that. But often or not, if you know how to haggle, if you know how to play the market, you can make a fair bit about platinum if you have prime sets to sell. Banshee or Reaper or whatever. Reaper especially can go for quite a bit. Another thing to keep in mind is if the prime part or prime set you are selling is particularly old, like it's a vaulted relic, it hasn't been unvaulted for a while, you might be able to get a lot more for it because of its scarcity now. So just a heads up about that. So anyway, that's pretty much how you earn platinum in this game. You go ahead and you farm prime parts. Now there's one other little part to this. It's a little bit different, and a little bit more difficult to understand, because there's not a good set in the stone kind of way to figure out your pricing. There are some mods that are worth quite a bit of platinum. For example, in Melee, if you can get a hold of Condition Overload. Condition Overload is worth quite a bit of platinum because it takes a long time to farm it, and people don't want to farm it. So Condition Overload is a good one to sell. Covert Lethality is also a fairly good one to sell. A lot of rare mods, actually, for the most part, can be sold for at least 5 platinum, if not more. So if you're not using them, or they're just sitting in your inventory doing nothing, and you want to make some platinum, that might be a good idea to do it. There's also some uncommon ones that are worth quite a bit, like Blood Rush, which is an just an acolyte only mod. So event mods are worth quite a bit. Basically, when it comes down to making platinum, it's anything that's limited edition. And that includes arcanes. Most arcanes you can sell. So if you're going off and doing the Eidolons every freaking night, which is possible, and getting like all these built up and whatnot, you can go ahead, like especially these two right here, Arcane, Exodia Contagion, Exodia Epidemic. These are worth quite a bit of money, especially if you have them rank 3. You can make 500 platinum off of these arcanes. So even these ones here can be set for, at least 100 platinum for a full set. So it's something to keep in mind. Arcanes are another way of making platinum. In a sense, it's anything that you can trade to someone that may take a long time to acquire. So the harder it was for you to get it, the more platinum you could probably make from it. But anyway, that's been how to make platinum in a brief stay. Just remember, it does require some diligence and some patience. Sometimes when you say, "Oh, I have something to sell," like willing to sell in the marketplace, you won't get anyone who wants to buy from you. You might have to go to a third-party website, which you can look at those to your discretion, like Warframe Marketplace or something like that, to find the platinum prices of certain things. And you can even post them, I believe, on that website and get people to message you in-game about them. So if you've enjoyed watching this video, everybody, feel free to leave a comment, feel free to like it, and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more Warframe basics. Additionally, just remember, if you have native commentary, leave it in the comment section. I will get to it eventually. I try to be very, proactive about that kind of stuff. So until next time, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I know I'm going to try, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great time, everybody. Bye-bye.